The markets feel like they're waking up, but is this a bull trap? We got some signals we're going to be watching today, but we also have a pro trader that's going to be sharing some secrets to making sure you can capture those profits and stop getting chopped out, because everybody keeps getting chopped out. We're seeing liquidations in both directions nonstop, and all we got to do is identify those probabilities. We're going to be diving in here to that and more today. Also some setups, what we're seeing right now in the market, and so much more. So everybody get involved, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding the bell, make sure you are active in the live chat. If you're there on Twitter watching as well, welcome to the show. We're going to be diving in here in just a moment. Everybody throw a 1 in chat if you are ready to go. What's up, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Welcome to BitLab Academy. We got to talk about the market movements today. We had the NVIDIA earnings yesterday, and it was great numbers, but we're actually seeing a little bit of a hesitation in the market. We're also seeing Bitcoin having a little bit of a pump right now. Does this mean we go all in 372x? No, you scrub. We got to make sure that we're doing this in a concerted, strategic, tactful manner. Otherwise, the only thing we're doing while we're here is donating our money to somebody else's third boat, fourth vacation home. We are here to make money, to change our lives and to change others' lives in our circle. And what we're seeing right now on Bitcoin is we are getting a bit of a resurgence. We're getting a little bit of a pop from this level that we see right here that is kind of broken out. And what we're seeing is nothing structurally has changed. If we look at this, for instance, on the 4-hour, double click here, on the 4-hour, we are still sitting here, still down under this trend line right here, which is a little bit of a precarious situation that we're sitting in right now. There's nothing ultimately bullish about what's happening unless you are scalping on smaller time frames. And that's one of the things we're going to be talking about today. Shout out to Crypto Danks here in the chat. We're going to be doing some stuff together in our Signals Lab trading group. We also got Brad Kellum, my daddy-o, Muchacho, Mr. Silky in the house, Green Day Profits, Alexander G. We got a lot of people already tuned in here. So everybody, if you are tuned in, if you're feeling alive, if you're feeling okay, throw a 1 in chat. If you think the Bitcoin price is actually going to break up from here and go well above the 61,000 mark that it's at now, let me know down below. If you think this is ultimately going to fail, where do you think this is going to fail down to? Everybody in the live chat or comment there on Twitter if you're watching. We've got the dual streaming, we got the multi-streaming going, so shout out to everybody that is tuned in. We're about to have a lot of people flooding in here in just a few minutes, but if this does get rejected here, where do you think this finds a bottom? Is this just going to be a rejection? Let's get down to the 1 hour. Is this going to be a rejection that does something like this, where it, God dang it, come on, man. Is this going to be a rejection that does something like this, where it comes down into this zone right here, this previous top? Or do you think this is going to be basically a bull trap that's actually going to come down, test this? Or are you more looking for better opportunity, looking for something where price action actually comes down and tests a little bit lower and comes down into this zone down here, 57 or below? I'm curious where you guys think this is going, because it's always good to get a sentiment of the community, even the communities you're in, because it gives you a good idea of what different triggers and mechanisms in the chart are affecting the psychology of the situation. We have to pay attention to that. We have to be aware that everything in this market is built to absolutely not only distract us from strategy, but also get us to engage with the emotional aspect of trading in this market. So what's up, everybody? How you doing? My name's Kelly Kellum. Today, we're going to be breaking down some trader secrets and how to make sure you can capture the move and prevent yourself from losing money. Now, before we dive in any further, sorry, I was waiting for something on my end. Before we dive in any further, I do have a couple things I want to go over here. So let's go. We got to look at some of the context of what's going on throughout the market. And so let's go ahead and look at what is going on. First off, we got Bitcoin. Let's actually refresh this just to make sure it is fresh as a daisy. Bitcoin 61.1. We're back up at $2.13 trillion. The The volume is about $73 billion, which is relatively small. The interest in this space is lagging right now because the market has been doing, it's 167 days since the previous all-time high at $73,700. Price has just been chopping people out. Boredom is a corrective movement. Price action moving up. If we look at this, let's actually go to the BLX. The BLX just gives you the general, there we go. Looking at price is not just, this is not just, basically shaking off the bulls dropping. This is not just shaking off the bears pumping. These movements are not the only movements in the market. A lot of times in these markets, we see price action like this. I mean, this was the FTX, this was the FTX collapse right here. And in this moment, when this happened, I mean, look at this price action. This went sideways for 76 days. So not too bad, 2 months. But this really wears on people because people have an undeniable bias for bullish or bearishness. Similarly, we had another, period right here that was another 52 days. We had another period right here that had a little impulse up and down, 50, 52, 53 days. Another period right here before it dropped about. And what we're seeing in this zone right here, this was another 63 days. And so this feels out of context because there's so many people in the market that forgot what this is like. This market doesn't go up or down. This market goes up and down and has a lot of sideways movement as well. The most explosive parts of this market are not the longest in duration. When we look at the market, for instance, if we come over here to, let's just go to having progress, boom. Having progress. Let's click on stuff 7 times so it works. Is that how computers work? You click it 7 times and then it works? Cool. But what my point is here is we have this sideways period that we've endured the last 2 halving cycles. Right after the halving, we had sideways about 160 days, sideways about 160 days. And then you ultimately get, look, you only got, basically about 2/3 of a year to the upside, sideways, and then down sideways, that it took all the way to roughly about right here before people started getting confident. So being in need of a bias to be filled in, you're literally setting yourself up for failure. So I'm going to bring on somebody here in a few minutes. It's going to be a few minutes. I have a couple things I have to go through, but I'm going to bring somebody on. It's another pro trader in our Signals Lab group who's just been nailing trades left and right, not only in the group, but also, he does this for a living and he's got some incredible insight into how to capture those trades. So before we dive into that, I got to cover a couple things. I see you waiting there in the wings. So let's go ahead and go through a couple of these things right now. Apple, we talked about this, was it 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago, when they basically opened up the third-party access to their basically NFC near-field communication, which is going to allow the ability to tap to pay for payments, not only just general payments, but also third-party apps. And what are third-party apps? Like wallets. So crypto payments using one tap with your phone device is something that's coming. And I actually asked something here. Let me actually go back to my page. I quote tweeted that and posted, simplicity will drive Bitcoin and crypto adoption. Do you agree? I'm curious if you think this is going to be something that feels exciting, but it's not going to have an impact for a few years. I'm curious what you all think there. Now, continuing on, we can also see that this is that same story. The new iPhone 16 has made a huge leap by allowing users to pay with crypto through its tap pay feature. This means you can now use digital currencies like Bitcoin to buy your morning coffee or shop online just by tapping your phone. Apple is making crypto as easy to use as Apple Pay is. So this is, simplicity is key as we drive into adoption. So we want to get to the price action stuff though. So I'm going to run through this stuff. We also see global payments company NCR at Telios is launching Bitcoin cash out across 30,000 ATMs. So you can actually plug in your wallet and actually withdraw cash, basically sell crypto and pull it out of an ATM. Another thing, access points. Access points is going to be something that's going to drive the ease of use concept and the ability to integrate things naturally into our lives. So these things are important when we're looking forward. Remember, we're going to be talking about trading today. We're going to be talking about capturing those things. But so many people get confused on capturing a trade versus when somebody's talking about the long-term position. In Bitcoin, a long-term position, I'm talking about when I'm using the word position suggests something I'm taking for a specific period of time. In this case, in Bitcoin, a long-term position would be from some part of a market cycle to hopefully a market cycle top. If you're doing a bullish long, if you're taking a short, then a long-term position would be cashing out somewhere near, or actually taking a short position somewhere near a market cycle, what you perceive to be a market cycle top, and riding it down to, multi-month sort of time frame. Now, when we're talking about this and we see this type of stuff and we see what we were talking about with Apple, these are fundamental improvements to the accessibility and use case and ease of use of Bitcoin. It only strengthens the long-term view of what we're talking about with forward speculation. And if you're able to buy something and hold it, at least have a long-term portfolio where you're holding through the market cycle shifts. I have a trading portfolio, but I also have a long-term portfolio. And in fact, in my trading portfolio, I allocate it to where it's a small set allocation of my total portfolio. So that way it's partitioned away from my longer term savings, if you will, my longer term hold. And in my trading portfolio, as I take trades and I have basically a period of time, sometimes every week, sometimes if the market's super strong, maybe over the course of a month, but I try to very regularly hold myself in self-discipline to take profits from that trading portfolio and rotate 30% of it into my long-term hold stuff I'm not going to touch, 30% of it roughly 30% of it staying in my trading portfolio. So my trading portfolio grows alongside my long-term portfolio. And then every month is a little different based on life costs, but sometimes I'll cash out some directly into my pocket. Yes, you don't have to only hold. Bitcoin's only not supposed to be just a store of value. Some people will argue that. But what the hell are we in this market for not utilizing this market to make money and actually also improve our life along the way? I'm not going to live in a hovel for 7 years because I'm a long-term holder and I take no profits off to affect my life, pay for a wedding or, a vacation or, if somebody in my family needs help. So these are things we all need to consider. These things are all fundamentally changing the landscape for the crypto market in the long run. So let's just realize in any of these small market movements where we're having some frustrating price action, realizing it's because you're too myopically focused on small time frames. And if you're a trader, if you are truly a trader, and I'm sure our guest is going to say this as well, if you're a trader, you don't give a damn if the price is going up or the price is going down, because that means there's volatility to utilize to make money in both directions. So let's get through this. I want to throw it right over to Dylan here in just a second. But we can also see wallet movements led to selling. Okay, we don't care what's going on right now with all this. We want to know what is going on in the charts. Just want to give you some landscape. We're still very much positioned. We're still in that early stage. Very similar to what we're seeing here, but more so in this zone right here, 2017. The landscape for the long-term outlook of everything we're seeing in Bitcoin is absolutely as bullish as it can be, and every dollar tick to the downside for people looking long-term is a better setup for your future if you're able to take advantage of it. So let's get out of that. Russia to start using Bitcoin and cryptocurrency for international transactions September 1st. You guys, we are not bullish enough. We need to realize that. And then, of course, we're only 68 days before that big day there in November. This is where price action has been the last two cycles in the similar fashion coming into that November date. And look at this. We're sitting right exactly where we should be. What are we worried about? Okay, we talked about this yesterday. Now, I think that's all I wanted to talk about there. So let me set the stage for you. This market, Bitcoin, crypto, altcoins, meme coins, whatever it is, you can take positions in both directions. You can utilize the volatility in these markets to make money regardless of if the price is going up or price is going down. Most people lose money in this market because they're tied to a bias about what direction they need the price to go. So they don't know how to, one, set up risk management, two, identify where a shift in trend is, let alone identifying a trend, which are two or three very critical aspects of making sure you can, if foundations for you to be profitable in this market. And three, they don't know how to cut the losses or take the profits. Surprisingly, taking the profits is, I would argue, probably the number one failure of most people in this market. I've been in trades where I've been up 20%, 30%, walk away, didn't adjust my stop losses, didn't set up a take profit, didn't have a trailing stop loss, whatever the different tools, mechanisms you can use to protect yourself, but also ensure that you're making money in this market. And then I come back and then it's like the trade is down 20%, 30%. It's like, oh, you got to have strategy. So with that being said, I'm going to throw it to let me actually bring up his, I got to assign him to guest one. And also, there we go. So with that being said, let's go ahead and throw it to my illustrious co-host today, Mr. Maynard. How you doing?
Yeah, good. Thanks so much for having me on. I'm very privileged to be here, and thank you. Thanks again. Yeah.
Absolutely. So for anybody that doesn't know, Dylan is not only a pro trader, he's also one of the core members in our Signals Lab group, and he has been providing nonstop signals. And it's not just signals. He also shows the trades he's taking, shows the profits on those trades. And I was like, dude, we got to get you in front of, get you in front of our community and talk about this. So before we dive into price action today, and in fact, we can use today's price action on various assets as a sort of a training mechanism also. But what are some of the things, starting with the mindset, when you're sitting down at a trading desk, whether you're picking your phone up in a cab to trade, which some people do, most people shouldn't. Where do you position your mind? What's the framework before you sit down and try to make money in this market?
I think the first thing is not to look at Twitter. I think that's the main thing. So basically, Twitter gives you a false hope of the market. Like when Bitcoin hits 61K, everyone starts flipping bullish, right? But the thing is, you have to just, for me, I just look at what the market's doing, like on a structural basis. And right now, I'm actually looking for shorts, guys. I'm looking for shorts, and what I look at when I go to my desk in the morning is literally just looking at the higher time frames, looking at the daily, the weekly, seeing what happened in the previous week, what actually happened. So on Monday morning is the most crucial charting that I do. It actually lines up the whole week, right? What I'm going to be looking at for the whole week, because that weekly close is so important. And when we get into the charts, I'll show you what's actually happening with the charts and why this weekly close is actually could be bearish for the market. But yeah, I think Twitter is for a lot of people is a very dangerous place, especially if you're new to trading, because you can get a lot of people that give you false signals and false appetite for the markets.
Well, I mean, I 100% agree with that. I think Twitter is an excellent source of information, but I think it's not parsed and categorized in the way people are reading it. Somebody will be entering a trade on a 15-minute chart and they're looking at, a hopium chart, and it's not necessarily hopium, but they're looking at a macro chart that says we're about to break out. And I agree, we're about to break out, but that about to break out could be 6 weeks out. And you're looking at a 15-minute chart, setting yourself up. You're like, he said it's about to go. Well, the market does this on the way to breaking out,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the thing also, like if I take a trade, right, and I say like on my group, I'm bullish like today, people think that we're heading back up to 70K. But it's just because of the day that I'm looking at it long, I'm actually quite bullish for the day. So I think the use of words is what catches people out mainly. Yeah.
No, absolutely. Now, before we really dive in, I want you to pull up your screen as well. Share your screen so I can assign it. And while you're doing that, I just want to give everybody here just a really quick brief overview in a trading desk. For instance, we're partners with CoinW. We have the link directly below, but I wanted to share just what it looks like and just give you guys a really quick, very quick, like 3-minute rundown of how you can master using any trading desk, but in this case, specifically CoinW. Now, when you pull up, you have, of course, your charts. I want to just remind everybody some quick keys. If you double click, it will minimize your indicators. Double click again, pulls them back up. If you want a broader screen to look at, up here in the top right, there's 4 arrows. That gives you basically full screen. You can go back. And not all, but the majority of the quick keys that I teach you all in the Trading View lesson we have in BitLab Academy, you can use those same things. So, for instance, if you want to put a horizontal line, just do Option H if you're on Mac, Alt H if you're on PC. If you want to do a trend line, it's Option T on Mac, Alt T if you're on PC. Just like that, click it once, and then hold on, Option T. There we go. And if you want to do a vertical line, Option V. If you want to do a fib, Option F. All the options, if you're on PC, are Mac, are Alt. So you can do these things very quickly, so you're not always struggling to figure out where your tools are and so on and so forth. Similarly, if you come up here in the very top, oops, I don't know what happened. Similarly, if you come up here in the very top of this thing right here where it says, just move your mouse over. It'll give you a little idea of what it is. It says indicator. You can add a number of different things, mostly basic stuff. You can't do any paid indicators, but I suggest, and I'm curious what you suggest as well, Dylan, here in a second, but MACD you can do very simply. Just type in MACD. You can do RSI, stochastics, money flow. You can add those and organize them however you want. Now, very brief, before we dive into this, I just want to give everybody a very quick rundown. You can do market order, limit order, and I would always suggest, unless you're a professional trader, make sure you're on isolated, not cross, because otherwise, if you are on a leverage trade, it could start pulling out from your account to fulfill the margin if the price goes into a loss. Now, you can set your leverage settings right here. You can press the plus back and forth. You can also type in, let's say 15, confirm. Now, if I want to enter a trade from the get-go, I can click this take profit at this TPSL, which is take profit, stop loss, where we're at. Let's say I wanted to do a short here. Let's do 100% of this amount, 15x times $74. I can go ahead and say, okay, I want my stop loss to be, let's just put it just above here, 61,161. All right, 61,161. Let's do a take profit just as an example. 59. I don't think it's going to go 59. Let's do 60,167. 60,167. Now, when I sell this short, confirm. When I sell this short, boom, there you go. It's in the trade. It shows you that you have your stop loss, you have your entry, you have your stop loss, you have your take profit. Now, interestingly, I want to show you all, again, double click here. If you want to move your take profit, you can just move this just like that, confirm. If you want to move your stop loss, you can move it up or down here. I really recommend you don't keep moving it to chase. You think it's going to reverse, right? Because that's something that typically can really, really mess people up. And then lastly, if you just want to close it all out right there, you can just hit close all, boom. You will close that trade instantaneously. Boom, closed, and the money is back there. And I took $1 loss. So I just wanted to give a brief overview really quick there. And you guys, I'll be doing a lot more education on this. I just wanted to show you how to utilize this. And this is similar on other exchanges, but CoinW has got a great just sort of layout, UI, UX. So I'm going to throw it to you. Let me throw in your screen right here, your guest 4. And I want to throw it to you and talk a little bit about what you're seeing and how you're identifying all these spectacular trades you're taking. What signals are you using? What's your setup? What's your trigger?
Awesome. Yeah, let's get straight into it. So basically, I'm a price action trader, so I don't use any indicators like moving averages or like the MACD or RSI. I just use pure price action and trend lines. So basically, what I'm looking at right now is, guys, I'm looking at a potential sell setup, and I do use one indicator. It's called the fixed range volume profile. Okay, so basically, what this gives you, it gives you the amount of trading volume within a range, right? So we can see that this level here is a point of control. So this is where most of people are trying to long and trying to short. And you can see the whole day today, people have kind of trying to been shorting this level. And then what actually happened is the buyers actually came out on top, and we're seeing price come up. Okay. So what I'm looking at right now is, because if we look at the higher time frame, which is what I'll go to in just a second, but I'm looking at a potential short from this value area high, right? So this is also, so we have a value area high and a value area low, and obviously the point of control. So these levels here, you can see people are shorting this level right over here. So what I'm looking at is a potential liquidity sweep to take out like these highs over here, take out all these stop losses, and then potentially come down from that level. Okay, so I'm going to be stacking some sells within the zone, potentially coming back down to this value area low, and then even a bit lower at like 50, 55K if we can push a lot lower. And the reason why I'm quite bearish is, guys, is if we look at the weekly time frame, we can see, guys, we closed respecting this November 2021 level on the weekly chart. Okay, so if price closed above this level within last week, then I would be like, okay, Bitcoin's probably going back to 70K. But because we closed respecting this level here, and it's also the 618, so I use the Fibonacci. So what I like to do is I grab the Fibonacci from the most recent high. So this Fibonacci tool is basically it just gives you key levels that price is gonna go to as resistance and support. So you want to take it from the high to the low right over here, and you can see we closed exactly respecting that 618, and also this level here on the weekly time frame. So you know, I know a lot of people are like trying to be bullish, but I just don't see it. I don't see it. I think that this was just quite a fake out bull trap potentially to the upside, and I still think we're gonna come down, guys, because you can see how fat this green candle was, and we're getting instantly rejected, guys, and we only have 3 days left until this next week closes. So yeah, it's gonna be quite interesting to see what happens. But I'm looking at a sell for Bitcoin and also Ethereum, guys. Looking at a sell for Ethereum. Ethereum is looking actually a lot weaker than Bitcoin is actually looking. So yeah, it's gonna be quite interesting to see what happens. But this is my Ethereum chart. It's getting rejected from the point of control, the same thing that I use. But I'm looking at maybe a deeper retracement to like 2,660 back down to these lows. So yeah, it's gonna be quite interesting to see what happens within the next couple days. Yeah.
So one of the things I want to just highlight there for anybody listening right now, whether you're on Twitter, whether you're watching this through Telegram, whether you're watching this on YouTube, whether you're watching it today, August 29th, or you're watching it in December, people need to realize we are so hungry. I want to know tell me what the signal is right now. My goal, and I know your goal is too, I want to teach people how, like right now, if you're watching this later, you can still take, okay, he's looking at this level as it relates to that. He's using a fib in conjunction with it. Oh, these two things, there's an intersection of two different signals providing the same context of rejection. Okay, well, what does that mean? That means it might not be as bullish as we want it to be in the near term. Now, again, this goes back to the time frame bias that people have. All the arguments I see on Twitter about it's bullish or bearish, nobody's identifying the timeline they're talking about. Because I could be very bearish. Like right now, I do think we're going to get a sweep to the downside, but I'm very bullish macro, I'm so bullish, but I'm like, no, it's like if I go and for instance, if I do a YouTube thumbnail, say it's all going to crash, a macro bull is going to be like, what are you talking about? Well, I might be talking to, a shorter time frame trader. So that being said, walk us through, what you're seeing right now. There's a lot of different speculation between Bitcoin, of course, Ethereum, but then also uncertainty within the altcoin market. So when you're trading altcoins, because I want to focus this on what's happening today, sure, but I want to also use this as an analog for lesson for people. When you're looking at the altcoins right now, what are you taking anything into consideration beyond the price action on said, Solana chart or on Avalanche? Are you thinking about the landscape, especially in the US, that, the two different divergent sort of regulatory possibilities, or are you waiting for Ethereum to break out to be super bullish on Ethereum? Are you specifically, because you are a shorter time frame trader, are you just looking at the price action saying, well, this chart's saying this right now, it doesn't matter the context?
Yeah, I mean, because I am more of a scalper, I obviously take those in considerations. But for the day, like I will mainly just look at price action, because if I'm taking a sell, I won't, like, let's just say I'm looking at AVAX, for example, and AVAX is looking bearish. I would also look at like TOTAL3, right, which gives you the market cap of all the altcoins, and I'll chart that out. And if that starts to break support, then I'll also be looking, okay, this is another confluence, And if I can share my screen for a little bit here, I want to show you guys something. So basically, for Total3, it's so important for me as a trader to chart this, because this gives you such a good indication when we're going to break out for the altcoins. Like right now, we're not even close to breaking out for the altcoins. And I think a lot of people are like, oh, the altcoins can't go lower, they can't go lower, but they can. And I think right now, the reason why we've been shorting the whole week is because we lost this trend, right? We lost this trend. And this is what I was waiting for, right? We lost this trend for the Total3, which is why we took shorts in Solana and Matic, and I think AVAX. Yeah, AVAX we took a short earlier this week. So right now, once and only once we start breaking out of this massive um, massive trend, we're going to see a massive move for the altcoins. But I still think that the alts can still drop. If we have a look over here, where is this? Right over here. We can drop around about another 15 to 20% lower to this box over here. So this box over here is going to be the 525 level. This is a 525 billion level. And if we come into this box, then I'm going to be mega long. I'm literally going to open up pretty much along on most coins with like a 2x to 3x leverage, and then just ride it out for the bull market. But right now it's just we're still getting rejected, guys. And once we start breaking above this trend over here, we're going to see a huge rally for the altcoins. It's going to be crazy. Like, it's going to be insane. But right now, it's just not looking good enough for me to take longs. I think the altcoins can drop a lot more, and this is the chart that I use, especially on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, we want it. This is a perfect highlight of the difference between bias and how it can contend with data. This data is showing a very regular sort of ping pong from resistance to support on that sort of falling channel that it has down into that base that it's hopefully starting to make, which I see is why you have that level boxed out as a likely entry zone. But that would also mean that the ping pong, fully gets down in there, which would mean a lot of bleeding in alts. Now, that being said, there's a number when you are picking coins, when you're picking different assets for, there's tradable assets. Like, you could not care at all about what the fundamentals are, but you're like, this has nice movement, I'm going to trade it. And then there's other assets that you put sort of in your mid to long term hold where you're like, I really like what they're doing. How do you sort of contend with that and separate the two so you don't get caught holding a bag or misallocating just because there was good price action at some point and not being aware that maybe this asset wasn't sexy at one point because it was boring, but the fundamentals, do you do any sort of mid to long term sort of data aggregation or research to like, hey man, like BitTensor or Solana or Avalanche, I feel like this is going to do very well this cycle for those position plays.
Yeah, I mean, if we look at, most charts now, most charts are looking bearish, but what's actually looking bullish is real world assets. And if we look at most of the real world asset coins, like Ondo, OM, all of these coins are actually looking quite bullish. So these are the ones that won't bleed as hard within the market. And I look at crypto bubbles on a weekly basis. I think it's really important. It's such a simple tool, guys, crypto bubbles. And basically, it also just tells you what, obviously you have to know the different sectors. You have to obviously do research on like what coin is part of which sector. But crypto bubbles will show you what coins have pumped within the last week and within the day. So like you can see, like if you look at the daily, we are looking quite good on the daily. But if you look at the weekly on crypto bubbles, you can see that there's only AI. You see AI is up, so like Fetch and Render, these ones are up. So these are the ones that I'll be focusing on within like this week to maybe look for longs, maybe not short those coins. So like OM, like, you know what I mean? So basically, I don't want to be shorting a coin that's been pumping for the past week. I'd rather be looking at a coin that has had a relatively bad week, and I would be looking for retracement sells, something like that. So I do use, like this week, real world assets. I'm actually long on Ondo because I do think that it's bouncing from support, and also OM's looking good. So I do think that I'm kind of hedging myself also because I am quite short on the short term. Obviously, very bullish on the long term, but I do think that every week or every month we do have some narratives that do pop. Yeah.
I mean, you just said something that I think, unfortunately, goes over most people's heads. It even went over my head because I'm a human. Everybody in this market, every one of you watching right now, whenever you're watching, whether it's today or in the future, we all are victims of ourselves more than anybody else. We're victims to ourselves, and we look at a chart like this, which is simple, coin market cap, and we go. What's the biggest pump? We're like, oh man, this is running away. They want to jump in because it's pumping, rather than reversing that and going, okay, I'm looking for longs. Okay, what are the biggest losers? How has it performed in the last 7 days? Okay, you can start to identify, then dive into TradingView or pull up CoinW and enter a trade. But if you're similarly, if this like Velodrome, okay, it's up 26% in 7 days. It's up 8.89%. Let's pull that up on the chart. Let's see what Velodrome's looking like. Velodrome, boom, right here. Okay, Velodrome, massive falling wedge. It had, look at this, nice bounce. I mean, this was that sell-off August 5th. From that low, it's made a high of 105% basically retracement, bounce, I should say, from this low. But on this most recent pump, I mean, that's not a small pump. That's a 58% pump. And it does feel, it feels like it wants to be bullish in the midterm. But because of this sort of roundingness, as we're seeing here, but this right here, this is not like somebody will look at this on a 5-minute chart and they'll go, oh, this is the bull flag. This is a bull flag. Oh my God, we got, all similar characteristics of a bull flag. So the only thing that they chart is this right here. And they go, okay, I'm longing and I'm not even going to set a take profit because I know it's going to go to this target at 9.4 cents. Not realizing that this also, based on the context of this sort of market, what's going on right now, look at it in this way, without that bull flag. This price action, where did it push up to? Right to the lows, couldn't get through it. So is this really a bull flag, or is the context suggesting, I don't really like to look at just bull flags unless we're in a defined uptrend and you're actually getting bull flags, not on a retracement that you can't even break through the previous lows. Would you agree with that?
No, I completely agree with that. I mean, that's the same thing like with Bitcoin. Obviously, right now people are talking about that bull flag, which is fine, right? But if you look at the low of that bull flag, we can still come to like the low 40s to that trend. So yeah, but I do agree. Like, you don't really want to be trading on a retracement with a bull flag, especially in that scenario. Yeah.
Yeah, this is what he's talking about. And I've mentioned this before as well. This is, macro feels bullish as heck. And people forget in the macro bullish as heck. I mean, everybody, just take a moment here. Look at this. Within this range, we've had 18%, 19%, another 21%, another 24, 25%. It's actually a little more than that. Let's see. 25%, and then another right there, another 28%. So actually, in reality, what we're seeing is a growing sell-off each time. And this would suggest that there is a possibility, as macro bullish as this is, and especially considering on the macro bullishness, and I've said this before on stream here, there's so much bullishness that it actually concerns me, because I think everybody's hinging on the bullishness. Even the fact that the price action pushed up above previous all-time high pre-halving, people are like, this time's entirely different. It's just going to run away. And now it's just chop. Okay, let's get people long, reverse. Let's get people short, reverse. It's literally, we have the biggest player in the history of the world in all assets, in all of financial markets ever. BlackRock, and then the second one, Fidelity, both in the markets now. And they're able to move multi-trillion-dollar markets. And they're in here like, these guys have no idea what's coming. They can see the forest for the trees, because that's the only reason why they'd set up a product in this area. So let's make some carnage here. I mean, we just I saw on the Discover Crypto show earlier today, they highlighted there was a trader that got washed out like 6 or 7 times in a row, like $30 to $50 million each trade. It's like, and each time that they did that, each time that they got washed out, is they're buying the hope here. And like, damn it, you get liquidated, buying the hope. Look, no, Buy the fear if you're gonna buy. Sell the
Yeah.
hope, man.
Exactly. Yeah. That's also my thing. Like when we had extreme fear, like I think I think it was 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, we were sitting at 15. That is when you should be looking to like buy, right? And then you can sell like at the mid 50s to 70s. But I think with people they hate buying when it's dumping, and I think that's for me is especially for spot, maybe not for futures, but for spot. When we dumping like this, I mean these are the levels that you want to be looking to obviously get in. That's obviously personal opinion. I don't want to give financial advice on that, but yeah.
No, of course. So while we have you here, you've been trading on CoinW for a while. You obviously also are a pro trader, and I couldn't be more excited. I do want to just highlight to everybody. I think this is the last day of the big promo that we're doing on CoinW. In terms of, you can always sign up, but there's a big promo going on right now. And you're still able to sign up for it. Where is my screen? There it is. If you scroll down below the video right here for free traders group, click on that link. It will take you to this page right here. Give me 1 second, Dylan. I just have to switch your face. Boom, right here. It will take you into uh, this group right here, Access to Signals Lab. Step 1, register. Has the link there for you to sign up for CoinW. Step 2, find your your CoinW UID, and this shows you right here. I'm just going to pull this over. See where that arrow is with the upper left hand? That's your account, and then to the right of that it has the UID. That's the number. And I've had a lot of people make errors in here. All you have to do once you get that is type verify space and then whatever your number is. I'm just using 777 as an example. And then if you signed up through our link, it will let you. If you did not, it just says verification failed. But that's how you do it. Then you get in here into the Signals Lab where, guys, there's so many different signals that have been posted in here. I mean, massive wins nonstop. I'm sharing stuff in here as well, live trading sessions as well. In addition to that, we're just starting a $2,000 to $10,000 challenge that all the setups, all the trades, everything is going to be listed in there. Every single trade that's made in this challenge. So you can follow along, get in there while you can, and just remember when you do sign up, through that link, if you do it today, you do get access. You basically $100 deposit, you get $100 reward. These I think are paying out in 2 days. $200 deposit, you get $200. Deposit $3,000, you get $1,000 reward. It's all, I mean, free money. Come and trade with us. We got all the people in here. But while I still have Dylan here, let me throw it back to Dylan here. Is there anything within CoinW that you find special or unique, or like, for instance, the ETF stuff in there, or any of the bundled index stuff, different mechanisms in CoinW that you'd like to highlight?
Yeah, I mean, we obviously we do have copy trading as well, but I think for copy trading is probably one of our good features because we have myself, Matt, and Boris, the three traders in that group. You can follow along with our setups, and within the Telegram group, I'll actually post a video on there for you guys if you want to do copy trading. Basically, just whatever trade that I do on my account, or do the exact same trade on your account. But I think um, there's obviously it's similar to any other platform, right? But it's basically the same. But also, I just want to highlight that that $2,000 challenge we're starting on Tuesday, guys, next week. So it's going to be there's going to be three traders. We're all going to do a challenge. We're all going to post our setups. Everything's going to be documented, right? So you'll see our losses, you'll see our wins, every single thing. So make sure you guys join before then, because Tuesday we're starting, and it's going to be quite, yeah, to me a cool ride, yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, I appreciate you having you on. I appreciate you sharing your thoughts, and you've been doing this for years. And of course, I have my own strategies. I have my
Mhm.
own mechanisms that I do, but I think it's very important for everybody to hear from different voices that explain things in different ways and use different types of tools. Because at the end of the day, for me, the only reason I do it, I made plenty of money in crypto, not doing all this media stuff, but I saw so many sort of aggressive, non-empowering people in the space that I was like, you know what? I've been on stage my whole life. I mean, I might as well just uh, be a part of the revolution and build community. Because for me, it's all about community. The more of us, if you and I help other people make money in this market grows faster because then their families, all you watching, your families see you doing better. They say, hey, what'd you, well, you know, I've been, actively involved with Bitcoin and crypto and trading, with the BitLab Academy crew and Signals Lab. And they go, well, let me learn about it rather than somebody jumping in, putting in $10,000 into a meme coin because their friend told them about it. And then they lose money and they go, crypto's a scam. No, 99% of the time, the scams people talk about is just themselves. They just traded a shitty trade with no risk management, and they basically set themselves up for failure. So I appreciate you being here. If you're down, I'd love to have you back on. Maybe next week. Maybe whenever you're free.
Yeah, I mean, it's been amazing. Thanks so much for having me. I do appreciate it. And yeah, I'm definitely keen to come on again.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate you. Everybody, hit that like button for Mr. Dylan here. Chat with them. They're in the Signals Lab Discord, not Discord, Telegram, and follow along with his trades. I'll be adding some trades in there as well. Again, thank you so much for being here, Dylan. I'll see you again next time. All right. Adios, brother. So that's what it's about, everybody. I have a style. He has a style. Frankie Candles has a style. At the end of the day, my goal is to provide you enough different tools, and you're going to find tools that work for you because we all have a different lens on how we're looking at the market, right? We have different needs for the market. I might be, for instance, on YouTube, I do primarily longer term, midterm to longer term stuff because I don't want to get just the average Joe wrecked because I'm calling long-term bullish and they go 100x long on a short-term time frame and then get wrecked. No, we're doing all the trading stuff, the smaller time frame stuff. We focus that in Signals Lab, so make sure you check that out. Again, you can find that if you go directly below the video. If you're on Twitter, make sure you head over to youtube.com/at BitLab Academy or just search BitLab Academy. And then on these live streams directly below, it says Free Traders Group. It's right there. There's a link. You can join right there. It'll take you directly into the Telegram. It will take you, it gives you the link to also sign up and get involved. We got some great things going on there. But we got to talk a little bit more about what's going on in this market because we got some movement since we've been in. It's still been hovering around this $60,900 mark. It's looking like, see, little trick. People want to short here. We're getting a little bit of a bounce. But if we're looking at this, we're still within that trend line that we have here on this 24-minute chart. So nothing yet has signaled the short. We're getting into that zone that Dylan was talking about, but we're still in this bullish posture on this very, very small time frame. If you are looking for a short, I would be waiting for, I honestly think this might push up and attack into this 61.2 sort of zone. Likely potentially even up into this 61.4 because this is that trend line that we have that comes all the way back here till August, basically just after August 5th, but right here where we found support. And this, I do think will likely get a test into this region here. And then at this point, what we'll want to do is we'll want to see the price action. If this does push into here, watch for a little bit of a wick up. And then you want to see whatever formation is there, the break below, the retrace, and then that break right there. This is where I'd be entering because you break below this range, you're getting the retest confirmation, and then you're getting more confidence in this likely coming down to test at least the $60,100 mark and likely even down a bit lower from there. But it's using the context of the tools and everything else. Now, when we look at Ethereum to Bitcoin keeps trying to bottom and just wicking down, find support, wicking down. Now, are we going to come down and find support again here at the 41.84 Satoshis? Yeah, because this is looking quite weak. It's not yet ready to have that breakout. The macro, if you saw that short I did today, the macro does suggest that we'll likely get a bounce soon. But the soon to me is going to be sometime in probably the second half of September. Whether we get a little bit of resurgence between now and then is yet to be seen. But actually seeing true bullish momentum, I think, is going to be somewhat suppressed until Probably volatility around what happens with the Fed interest rate stuff. But then in addition to that, after that volatility is shaken off, all this, whipsaws, then I think going into October, we're going to get a lot clearer picture of what's going on also with this big date in November. But in addition to that, I think that liquidity is going to have to start coming back into the market because we're already seeing it. When we come down here to global liquidity, there we go. Global liquidity is breaking to new all-time highs, and we've seen that this break to new all-time. God, I got the hiccups for some reason. We're seeing that the global liquidity breaking to all-time highs has always front-ran these massive upticks. Now, this both sold off. This also reduction in global liquidity, but look, massive uptick here. This doesn't seem like a lot, but this is a massive uptick in global liquidity. This is several $1 trillion uptick. And then this started, kind of jump-started this nice move to the upside. So we're set up right now. The only thing our governments can do as it stands is to print more money because everything in this economy in the U.S., globally, really, it's not just the U.S., everything in our economy is hinged on this debt capitalism, essentially. We spend far more than we make. And I really love yesterday that I was in a call with, it wasn't on stream or anything. I was in a call with TJ and some other people. And you know what the Latin term for fiat is? By force. And some people are still on the fence about whether or not they should be involved or get involved or, trade or even make a purchase or allocation to Bitcoin when fiat is a thing that its name in itself is by force and it's a currency backed by nothing. But that's why we're here. That's why we're in this market. That's why we do this here at BitLab Academy. That's why we have the Signals Academy to basically walk you all through trade setups, trade education, live trading, trade competitions. For those of you that do want to take advantage of the price volatility along the way, I'm very happy that we could have Dylan from CoinW Pro Trader here with us on BitLab Academy and in Signals Academy to teach you all these things. Make sure before we go that you do head over below the video right now. If it does not say subscribe, make sure it says subscribed. Make sure you have the notifications on, and right here, free traders group. It's also pinned in the top of the live chat right here, free traders group. Click on that, go and join, get involved with us. And remember, as the entire time you're doing this, as I was talking about allocating portfolios, have a trading portfolio, have a long-term portfolio, have a just life fund account as well, where you can transfer some profits in there along the way, because there's so many profits to come if you trade smart and practice risk management, and make sure that you're protecting your crypto along the way in that long-term holder portfolio. This channel is powered by BitLab, is powered by Arculus. It is the best crypto cold storage solution out there. It's my preferred avenue, my preferred utility for protecting my crypto and protecting my future. Head over to getarculus.com. Use code LAB10 for 10% off. And with that, everybody, I hope you all have an absolutely wonderful day. Make sure to watch this back. If you've watched it, if you're watching this later, it's okay. Take lesson from the way we are talking about what we're looking at and why we're utilizing different tools, or looking at this time frame as bullish, but zooming out and realizing, oh, it's just bullish into a resistance level. It's very important that we make sure that we are not setting ourselves up for failure, that we're acting on strategy, not on impulse. And that's what this is all about. That's all I got for today, everybody. Thank you for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one. Adios, muchachos.